All right, hello everyone. It's Kurt Kelly here, and well, it is it. We are right at the end here. As we record this today, we still have just 2 days left of session, and then it's over. Well, actually, it's not going to be over. It's my understanding they're going to have to extend it just a little bit to get all the budget in, and that's what I want to talk to you about. So, many of you know that we had a major plan this year to try to come in and talk about the resources that we need for child welfare. We also had a major concern about the workforce stability and how it was affecting our workforce and what we needed to do to get the resources to address that issue. And our numbers were everything from a top-end number of $160 million that we knew we were really shortfall when I asked all of our lead agencies to tell us what their real needs were. And we right down to where we saw when the Senate came out with their recommendation initially at $20 million. So it was a big spread. Well, I'm here to give you the news, and it is good news. And it is the first time we've been able to ever say anything like this in the history of child welfare. And that is the House and the Senate have agreed to bring in $150.5 million recurring revenue into the system of care. And guys, all I can tell you is that has been everything that we've been working for, praying for, everything that we've been engaged in. And I just can't tell you how pleased I am. I'm not one that likes to do much about victory laps and high fives. I believe that a lot of people helped make this happen. And we had a lot of folks that were involved in what we did this year to get to this point. And so I will just tell you, to my legislative team, starting with Victoria Zepp, who I just love, and she has just been a great trooper with us. She's really handled a lot of the policy side and done that. She and Beth have been marvelous in that world. But then when you talk about the funding side, she was there as well. We have Chip Case. We have Scott Jenkins. I just tell you, we had an unbelievable team, and it was intended to have a team that did different elements all coming together, very much like our football parlance that I always use. And we've got all these different folks that came together to help us bring in that number. And I'll be very candid with you. Did I see that number coming? No. I thought we would negotiate down, and I was hoping and camping around 107, 108, $110 million, knowing even that is unbelievable numbers. And we started talking about that. But lo and behold, the House came in with this offer. We had no one have any money taken from them. That was also a big fight that we had to make sure didn't take place. That was not fair to start ripping dollars away from lead agencies. And so we had no money taken away from anyone. And frankly, it was a victory across the entire board for our children and families services that we get to provide. And I'm very pleased about that. My team was exceptional. Then we had some exceptional folks that helped us through this process. I want to thank all of the members of the coalition, all of you who made calls, all of you who made phone calls. We had great stakeholders. Tax Watch, without having Dominic Calabro coming in and at the press conference, and then their study that they did, that was very, very powerful, and it played perfectly into our conversations and what we were trying to do, the messaging that we'd sort of coordinated on this. Roy Miller and his team. It's amazing. There were so many folks that were involved in this. We had many of your lobbyists that worked with us in conjunction on what we did, and we very much appreciate them. My staff here at the coalition, just the work that they did in supporting it. We gave almost every member a booklet that talked about our legislation and our funding request, and was able to come in with some of the great studies that were done by our own team around just studying what would happen in the workforce if we didn't do certain things. So all of this came together, and then our champions, the ones in the Florida House, the ones in the Florida Senate. All I can tell you is we just had some great players. To the Speaker of the House, Speaker Sprowls, all I can tell you is this man has made it clear that he cares about this issue. And in his last time as Speaker of the House, or at least his last session, he went out with a bang for us, and he will be forever appreciated. And then also President Wilton Simpson. Wilton made it very clear there were some things that he wanted to. In fact, he made a speech just yesterday, or the day before yesterday, that actually talked about why we have to protect our community-based care model and why we have to do some things. And that was very, very moving. And so it's wonderful to have all of this sort of coalesce, and it coalesced into about $150.5 million into the system of care. And so I'm very excited about that. But I also have a special thank you to Senator Aaron Bean, the Speaker Pro Tem. He spoke to our rally in Tally. Aaron has been a champion for us from the beginning, and I can't tell you how much he means to me and what he means to our organization. We had some very, very candid conversations, but I got to tell you, when it came down to when they're in those rooms and nobody else is in there, just the leadership staff was there. Matt Ball over on the House side, Tim Sedberry on the Senate side, just amazing. Kathy Mears, all of these folks that have just done some amazing things for us. They're good actors. And what we had to do is just put our message there and talk to them why what we need is what they expect from us. And so here's what they expect, and here's what we have to do it. And we were able to connect those dots this year. And so it's a great year. Now, the House and the Senate have done a great job and done their job. They still have to pass the budget out. But once they do that, then it goes on to the governor. We expect the governor to support us. He has been, and his team has been right there with us the whole time, and we very much appreciate their support. We don't see any issues in that. We'll make sure we're going to have the right conversations there. Then when you start receiving those dollars, and you get them starting July 1, when you get those dollars, I really want to be able to go to the legislature next year and say, because of your belief in us, because of your support for us, because of your commitment to us, here's what we were able to accomplish. And we really need to make sure that we're not just taking dollars and moving on. We need to make sure that we're able to show the difference between where we could have been and where we are because of their investment into it. So we'll talk more about that in the future. Just an unbelievable time here. It was a great session. I'll tell you what, even on the policy side, we won pretty much every battle in that. There was a couple of areas that we still need to work on in the future, but it was a really good year in policy. And then I just have to tell you that even some things that could have been negatively shot out there, some of the stuff that came out of the IG report, all of that was put by the wayside. We had multiple conversations to say, look, let's get the facts straight and let's make sure we talk to our citizens. But at the end of the day, let's make sure that we understand we have a great system of care run by great people who care deeply about children and families. Now we get the opportunity to go show them what we can do. And so I'm very excited about this. All right, with all of that said, I've taken just a moment to talk about this. It was a great day for us, a great session, a great whole legislative session with all the work that we did, all leading up to that, probably the 9 months when I sat there in my office in Ocala saying, I've got to change things. We cannot go back and have another session like we had the year before. And all of this work came to fruition. And so with all of that, I'm thankful. I can tell you that there's been a lot of work behind this. There's a lot of prayer behind it, and God has been very good to us. And so and the legislature has been very good to us. And so let's go out there and do the right things for children and families. I want to make sure that we are talking to you about things that are coming next. So I had a multiple plan. This wasn't just to go get the money and do our things. That was part of it. But the other one is now to start building the next level of champions. Because you can see when we have champions, like David Smith in the House, like Michelle Saltzman in the House, Thad Altman and Rick Roth, when you have folks like that who are just great champions of ours, or over in the Senate when you have Kelly Stargell or Aaron Bean, Darrell Roussan, folks that have been very, very helpful to us in this process, certainly Wilton Simpson in the end of the day. When you have those kind of folks that are very helpful to you and they become champions for you, you can get a lot of good things done. We need to build for the future. And so the next couple of months now, all the way up until next session, we are going to start going on a campaign to retooling and rebuilding our relationships with a lot of our members out there that are in the legislature and new ones coming in. And so I think we're going to have a good time doing that. By the way, you might have heard in the background the big thunder. We're under a tornado watch right now, so that's just Tallahassee. But put all of that aside just to say that I'm very excited about this. We need to do this right. And so you're going to hear a lot more about that as we go forward. And then finally, I just want to say conference. Look, It is the 60th anniversary from the date that we were incorporated. Our predecessor organization, we've been the Florida Coalition for Children for about 20 years. Before that, it was about 60 years ago. There was actually an organization 10 years before that. But we think instead of making the 70th, we've made it the 60th. I think 70 is the new 60. So we'll go with that. We're going to have a great conference. Not a good one, a great one. Unbelievable national speakers coming to speak to us. We will have a great gala. We're going to have an opportunity to all come together. And I really want you to bring your folks that need to be rewarded to come and be a part of that. I want you to send them to the gala and all of this thing. Our folks are working really diligently to put on a great conference, and I think we're going to have a great one. So get prepared for that. With that said, guys, if I just stopped and just personally said how much I appreciate you, I love you. This organization, we were challenged a lot this year. And we went out and did stuff that we haven't been able to do in the past. And we took some resources and just put it into the system so that we could be successful. And I believe because of all of that, we've been able to be very successful this year. Hope you have a great weekend. And I look forward to talking to everybody on Monday's call. And I just hope that you take some time, send a thank you card to your legislators in your area, because they're going to have to vote on this budget and they're going to have to support us. And I just want you to thank them for all the great work we've done. With that, thank you. God bless you. And I look forward to talking with you again soon.